but it's how you manage your situation that will help you to achieve your daily targets in life. And this is how I welcome you to the newspaper review right here on Our Impact Radio 102.1 FM.
Hello there. Join us Mondays to Fridays, 7:05 a.m. for newspaper reviews, headlines, analysis, and comments on your urban lifestyle station. High Impact 102.1 FM.
Well, the newspaper review right on our Impact Radio 102.1 FM will make it our duty to educate you on the stories that made front page in some of the dailies that we have with us in the house today. And yes, you heard me say we, because I'm not ever doing this alone. My name is Uche Okori. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Uche. It is so good. It's good to be our first
show together this. Ooh.
So yeah, Happy New Year and again. Happy New Year for those who usually are able to always listen during the newspaper reviews. Since different people have different times. So hope you're doing good. It's a Monday edition, and yes, we are about to kick the show. So wherever you are, if you're going to call in or react to the stories that we'll be sharing with you from now till 8 a.m. Be sure to kick in, because we are going to be expecting to hear your voices, maybe a text message or WhatsApp messages. Yeah.
Definitely. And also remember, you can always be part of the show online as well as terrestrial, that is on your radio stations. How can you be part of the show online? Is if you follow us on social media. That is, you can watch us live on Facebook at Our Impact Radio 102.1 FM. That is on Facebook. On YouTube, where you can go click on the subscription button and click on the notification so you can know whenever we are live in the studio. The YouTube is Our Impact 102.1 FM as well. We're on all your social media handles. We're on Twitter, we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram at Our Impact 1021 FM. So hey, go be part of our family by following us on all our social media handles. But if you want to call in on the show, it's simple. 0704 425 2109. I take that one more time. 0704 425 2109. You can text us or WhatsApp us on 0907 225 5018. Am I correct on that? 0907 224 5018. I take it one more time. 0907 224 5018. Yes, we will love to hear from you. We would love to know what you think about things happening in the country, or basically about what's going on in your own environment, your own vicinity, or you just want to tell us how you feel the government can do better. All our ideas are definitely welcomed right here on the newspaper review. And let's get to the papers in full this time around. We will be starting with the Daily Trust. And the Daily Trust leads with this big one. It says 2 trillion Naira power project stalled. Accountability PPP key to reform. That's according to experts. You want to know what this power project is all about? You need to go grab the Daily Trust newspapers this morning for you to find out. That story you can find on page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Underneath it, we see a bold picture here that says inauguration of multiple projects. This has to do with Minister of Works, Senator Dave Umahi, Deputy Speaker of House Representatives. We see Benjamin Kalu, Governor of Abia State, Dr. Alex Oti, and of course the President himself, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the Governor of Enugu State, Dr. Peter Mba, where the President's state's visit to Enugu inaugurated multiple of infrastructure projects executed by the governor of Enugu State, that is Governor Mba, who has been, churning out multiple projects in recent days. We do hope all this will not just be something that we just see as a facade, but things that will actually critically work and benefit the people of Enugu State. Beside that picture, we see WAEC introduces receipt exams for candidates.
That's the first. Never heard of that before.
Okay. Definitely would like to know more about this story, and I'm sure you would like to know more about it. Go look at page 6 of the Daily Trust for you to find out. Underneath it, drug trafficking. Saudi Arabia releases 3 Nigerian women after 10 months in jail. Page 8 is where you see that story. 4 killed, bank raised in Delta tanker explosion. Page 8 is where you see that story. Really, really sad when I saw images of, the fire in Delta State of the tanker, and it was gruesome. And for me, I feel, in as much as we know that definitely there's always going to be tankers carrying fuels to depot stations and all of that, but what are the quality of these tankers? In what working condition are most of these tankers in? We get to see some of them. We daily see some of these tankers pass by us, and we see the kind of conditions they are. So what are the safety measures being done by the NNPCL, by the NNPPR? What are the safety measures to make sure that, okay, all these tankers at every single time, anyone plying the roads of Nigeria in any states must be of 100% standard? What are the conditions being set to make sure that's what happens? Not like we're trying to blame this on anyone, but at least when we see stuff like this, that will give us the idea to say, okay, we need to make sure standards are met and standards are kept. And I really, really hope the NNPCL and the rest of the bodies in charge of fuel in Nigeria will look into making sure that the tankers are more safer when it comes to go to distributing this fuel to depot stations across the nation. Underneath that big story, we see tax reforms. Northern elders, Kadisima, urge more consultations. We'll still go and keep hearing about tax reforms until we see if it will come to fruition or if it will be set aside. Well, but what's important is that it's critically looked at, and and everybody is sure that it will benefit the Nigerian people. We find this one on page 6 of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, and of course, underneath the nameplate of the Daily Trust, sad story there. Bandits kill Miyetti Allah chair, kidnap wives and daughter. Bandits kill Miyetti Allah chair, kidnap wives and daughter. You find that story on page 8. Beside it, chicken sellers slash prices amid low patronage. Chicken sellers slash prices amid low patronage. We heard about prices that was as much as 20-something thousand during the Yuletide, and I'm like, wow, okay. Turkey, we heard turkey was as much as 120,000 naira for a bird, for goodness sake.
When you say for a bird, I mean, I heard of the chicken. I didn't actually hear prices of turkey. That's a lot.
Man, it's a bird, man. What's happening? 120,000 has 2 legs, not 4 legs. Man, man, but when I
heard of the word for chicken, I thought it was joke.
Man,
but I had friends in other states that were also saying that they have prices, and I'm like,
man. But so many people, I can confirm that so many people turned actually to the frozen ones, because that came at a way more cheaper price. I think a full. Okay, let's go away from that. Let's keep going. I almost got caught up in myself. Anyways, moving on. Beside that story, new virus hits China. Over 5,000 hospitalized in the UK. You find that story on page 72, and on the news this morning, we see that the Nigerian government are making sure that they are trying to put measures in place to be sure that inbound passengers from China are safe before they come into the country. We do hope we do not have another COVID-19 surge, just like we saw the last time. All hands needs to be on deck to make sure that nothing goes wrong this time around the world, because hey, over 5,000 hospitalized in the UK. That's that's crazy. But that's the much of the Daily Trust this morning.
And we move to the Guardian newspaper, starting off with fresh agitation trails states poor execution of new minimum wage. Fresh agitation trails states poor execution of new minimum wage. And right at the very, very front, also beside it, we find Peter Obi decries intimidation, insists on fighting for better Nigeria. This particular one is on page 7. On page 2, we find INEC denies plan to destroy 6 million unclaimed PVCs. INEC denies plan to destroy 6 million unclaimed PVC. Just grab the Guardian newspaper and then move to page 2 to know much more about that. The very top above the nameplate, continued on page 4, Tinubu hails Mba for repositioning Enugu for economic growth. We also have more stories here. Insurgencies, insecurity to end in 2025. CDS tells personnel. Insurgencies, insecurity to end in 2025. CDS tells personnel. We are looking forward to that. We've heard of too much, not just last year, but over the years, especially in this country. So really hope all of that is taking care of real actions and plans too. So this one is on page 9, and we move to page 38. We find here terrorists kill Miyetti Allah chairman, 3 others in Castina. Terrorists kill Miyetti Allah chairman, 3 others in Castina. That is sad. Below that on page 6, this costs pay 137 billion naira to TCN amid persistent grid collapses. Okay, this costs pay 137 billion naira to TCN amid persistent grid collapses. I really hope all of this ends this year. New year, new year, new me, new year, new
No
Nigeria.
more swinging grids and all of that.
No more skipping rope. Because seriously, this is
Skipping
quite
rope.
a lot of
Oh
money.
my.
So I feel that they should be able to take care of some things if plans are properly put in place. So yeah, looking forward to that one. Looking forward to that one. But yeah, this story is on page 6. Yeah, the story is on page 6. And below, we find 4 feared dead, property destroyed as petrol tanker explodes in Delta. And this one is on page 12. If you want to know more about all of this, just get the Guardian newspaper and you see all the details. Do not forget, you can also react to any of the stories, text message or WhatsApp message to 0907 224 5018. And that is the much we can take on the Guardian newspaper.
From the Guardian newspaper straight to the Punch newspaper. But before I give you details on the Punch, remember you can always be a part of the conversation if you reach us on 0704 425 2109. I take that one more time. For your calls, you call us on 0704 425 2109. But in case you want to reach us via WhatsApp or your regular text message, it is on 0907 224 5018. 0907 224 5018. Don't forget, we're streaming live on YouTube at Our Impact 102.1 FM. We're also streaming live on Facebook at Our Impact Radio 102.1 FM. The Punch newspaper leads with this one: new virus. FG tightens monitoring to quarantine China passengers. You find that story on page 2 of the Punch newspaper this morning. It has one right after that story. Experts demand proactive steps as new virus surges in China ravages children. Underneath that story, we see a huge picture of the governor of Abia State and the governor of Enugu State, that is Alex Oti, and Governor Mba. With children. This also has to do with the development which is going on in Anambra, Enugu State, I beg your pardon. So beside that story, APC dismisses PDP's threats to unseat Oyebanji in 2026. Page 7 is where that story is at. Underneath it, at page 5, 5-year dead, banks burnt in Delta tanker explosion. This is one more person. I think in the other papers we got 4 dead. The Punch is saying 5.
Banks again.
it gets you confused that how much is really the number. Is it more than 5? Is it more than 6? Is it less than? But it's really, really sad. Really, really sad. Donate to that story. Yuletide holidays. Lagos, Kano, Delta, other school resumes today. Yes, school is back. Page 9 is where that story is at. 18 policemen present when hoodlums attacked me. That's according to the Ocean Monarch. That story is on page 4 and 5. Family solicits funds to bury Nigerian students in UK. Page 4 is where that story is. And finally, Tinubu Mba taking Enugu on the path of 21st century development. LP can win 2027 poll without merger. That is according to the party chieftain. You find that story on page 7. And that's the march for the punch.
And lastly, we have here for the Vanguard newspaper, lots and lots of stories. We start off with page 19. 2025, organized private sector charts economic growth part. We have lots of riders here. Nasima, MAN, LCCI make recommendations as businesses brace for more challenges amid hope for brighter year ahead. Nasima seeks urgent reforms to address private sector challenges. Says 2024 performance unsatisfactory. Major changes needed to stimulate growth. And this one is according to MAN. Also, we have more here. 2024 most challenging year for MSMEs. We also have Asborn saying all of that. Private public sectors collaboration imperative. This is according to LCCI. And lastly, federal government pledges impactful 2025. Let's see how all of this pans out in this year. Like I said, proper planning and actions should be put into place. We also have a very huge picture here. So we'll hold in annual Thanksgiving. And beside it, we have stories of vet doctors raise concern over dog attacks, death. Vet doctors raise concern over dog attacks, death. This one is on page 9. Also, a page before, according to NWC, PDP will produce more governors in 2027. We move below to page 48. Tinubu Mba doing everything possible to provide security, attract investors to Enugu. We also have drug shipment, NDLEA nabs wanted kingpin, Nollywood filmmaker. If you want to know about that, this one is on page 6. We also have stories. We haven't reached 90% completion. That is according to the BUA refinery. This one is on page 8. And also on page 5, no plans to destroy 6 million PVCs, says INEC. And at the very top above the nameplate, more stories here. Single-use plastics enforcement on ban starts in 14 days. This is according to the Lagos government. This one is on page 10. We also have address food insecurity, economic hardship now. Southern monarchs tell federal government. That's on page 11. 4 dead, scores injured. 2 banks raised as petrol tanker explodes at Agbor. So now it's not just deaths, there are also injuries. This one is about 20 people being injured.
Well, definitely for something of that magnitude, where there were deaths.
It can't just be 4 or 5.
Well, it's what the media say. So
let's see how all of that. But this particular one with this included details is on the Vanguard, and it is on page 5. And then lastly, you can find on page 12, Fubara can transact business with 3 lawmakers. Court rules. Fubara can transact business with 3 lawmakers. Court rules. And for the sports section on page 55, Inyimba Black Bulls 4-1, CAF CC Ideye Atule lead Black Bulls route. And that is all we can take right here on the Vanguard newspaper.
Well, that's the Vanguard newspaper for this morning, but that's not the show for this morning, as we still have our in-house analyst who will be here to, help us discuss some of the stories and shed more light on events, or best still, help to give ideas on how to make things better. But hey, you need to stick to the dial 102.1 FM for you to find out all of those details. So hey, don't go nowhere, people. We will be right back after the short break.
The best music, the best people, the best talk on High Impact 102.1 FM. Wati Magbo.
I know, and I love you too. This is why I've made it so that you can now have me everywhere you go. www.highimpactstudios.com. Press play. Links in our social media bio. Click at High Impact 1021 FM. Or you can just go the regular way. Turn on your radio and tune in to 102.1 FM.
We love you at High Impact Radio. Mwah!
See, there is no separating us now.
Hello there. Join us Mondays to Fridays, 7:05 a.m. for newspaper reviews, headlines, analysis, and comments on your urban lifestyle station. High Impact 102.1 FM.
Impact Radio 102.1 FM. In case you are just joining us, this is the newspaper review where we get to analyze all of the stories that made front page in some of the dailies that we have with us this morning. And of course, we have looked at some of them. And remember, you can always be a part of the conversation if you call us up on 0704 425 2109, or if you text or WhatsApp us on 0907 224 5018. We will be speaking with Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid this morning. Good morning to you, Barrister.
Good morning,
Good
Uche.
morning.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too, sir.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to our listeners.
Okay, so I will start from Lagos. I will start from the Lagos front, and this is something that we know might cause a bit of an uproar, although because we saw it happen last year, and that has to do with the ban of single-use plastic. And now you've seen the Lagos State government giving 14-day ultimatum to make sure that this come to pass. Are you one of those persons who think that this is a really right thing to do? Because we've seen how this plastics have caused so much dirt in our society. So what do you have to say about this 14-day ultimatum given to people on the ban of single plastic use?
Yeah, I think I believe that plastic usage in this country has not been properly done in terms of ensuring good environment. People are so careless. People are so uncared. They just do whatever they like, and sometimes too, when they use this plastic, they don't track them properly. It's a problem. So if the government, my problem with the policy, Nigerian government policy, is that whenever a policy is made, the problem is not about the policy itself. It's about the enforcement and implementation. They will know. They will just make the pronouncement and go and sit down somewhere. They wake up again after months or years. Then they want to enforce the same law that have been passed for years. After a week or two of enforcement, they will go back to sleep again. That's my problem. So as long as we are lacking in enforcement of our policies, we may not be able to get the right results. If people are doing the right thing, because you see, some people will come and say, we should not blame the government, we should blame the people. Yes, I agree to an extent. But the point is that government's role is still, they still have a huge role to play in ensuring compliance. No one in the world, no citizen in the world want to comply with law except the government force, except they are forced. If those countries that will see as a country where laws are respected or whatever, let the government sit down and fold their hands and see whether or not those citizens will not go against the law. So for me, the problem I have is that government most times don't only talk. They don't walk the talk. That's my worry. It's good. We need to make our environment clean. We need to regulate the usage of this, what's it called?
Single-use plastics.
Exactly. So that you will see our drainage or something. Most of the things that occupy them at this particular products.
Yeah. Well, let's see if enforcement truly will be done. And let's move to INEC now. And I want to talk about this particular story because, yes, there was an alleged accusation of INEC wanting to destroy over 6 million PVCs, which INEC have come out to deny.
The audio is a bit low.
Okay. Can you hear me clearly now, sir?
Yes.
Okay, there was an alleged information about INEC wanting to destroy over 6 million PVCs, which they have denied. And we know the elections are in 2027. And for us to have this information of saying INEC has over 6 million PVCs, don't we think now is the right time that which INEC has the opportunity to actually distribute these PVCs? Because some will argue they have the addresses of this person's information with them. They have so many information that has to do with their NIN and all of that, which means most of these people can be identified. Their homes can be identified. Their place of work, their numbers, all those things can be identified. Shouldn't this be the right time INEC use as an opportunity to distribute these 6 million PVCs very effectively before the next general elections? Or are we just going to, is it just going to be a situation where it's still going to be held until maybe 2026 and they give like 2 months or 3 months to say people should start coming to collect their PVCs?
Yeah, I think I agree with you, but I also think that, look, this is time, I'm not even comfortable with us having a particular period when people will collect their PVC or even register. This should be a continuous exercise. It should be a daily exercise so that it will make it seamless. You won't wait for a particular time when election is near or something for you to start it. If you know you have a card that has not been collected, you can walk into their office anytime and collect it without waiting for a particular period when ANEC will say, this is the time to collect your PPC. I think fixing a particular time when you can collect or register, to me, I think is drawing us back. We need to move beyond this. Everybody should have the right to. People turn 18 every day, and and people change the environment every day. So if you see people who have registered in Lagos and they want to do change of a card and they've done that, or those who have been registered and they've not collected their card, they should be able to walk to the office anytime, any day, to say, please, my card, is it ready? Let me collect it. I think we need to do more. You see, we are also having a conflict here. No, not even conflict yet. Because INEC is also proposing a situation whereby the card will not even be
necessary anymore.
Discussion again that once you register online, you can print out your paper, and then or even if you don't have registration paper, once they can trace your name and they can identify that you are the person that you should be allowed to vote there. You see, the confidence and the belief in the system is a problem. That may give room for manipulations. People who are not even on the list will be allowed to vote, and they will claim one name for them. That is a problem. So, but I think a collection of voters card and all those things should be a continuous exercise and should be a daily exercise. That's what I think we should be doing to ensure that people collect their what's it called? Their PVCs. The issue of sending to their addresses in Nigeria, it may not work. You know, some people register where they are not even staying.
Where they're not
some
staying.
Some people register, and some have moved. You know, we don't have a proper data in Nigeria where you can trace people when they are moving from one place to another. So it will be difficult to say, let's be doing a courier transfer to everybody. It may get to the wrong hand, or it may not even get to where the person may have registered in Kwara, and at the time they are sending it, the person may have moved to Enugu or even the same part of Kwara, somewhere else in Kwara. So, or a different house where they don't even know him. So, it's a very, very difficult situation to suggest that because of that those situation.
Well, some would argue that phone calls could be made to do some confirmation, but I honestly get the point because people move every day.
You're also correct. Yeah, it could also be an idea that okay, if you want to send it to Korea, you call the person to give you a proper
update of addresses.
That could be another way. It's another way out.
Yeah. So, anyways, well, hopefully we will get it answered. We will get it right someday in this part of the world when it comes to our elections, and it will be seamless and easy to go.
People are not interested in this. People are not collecting this
PVCs
card because of the lack of confidence in the system, and some people don't even believe that. They have to vote because this thinking of whether we vote or not.
Who is going to win is going to win.
We need to do away with that mindset. That mindset is all discussion of where the problem we have today. In fact, that has been the mindset before now. And that was why we have people that will call bad people in government today in quotes because those who claim to be good at that time
choose not to be part of the government.
Yes, and that's what we're doing today again too. Most people are not interested. They can only talk about it. They don't walk any talk.
Okay. We see on the front page of the Guardian newspaper this morning where we see, two stories that seem like it's contradicting themselves, because at one part of the story we see terrorists kill Miyetti Allah's chairman, kidnap wife and daughter, and at the other side of the story, just beside it, we see the government, the CDS, telling the people that insurgencies and insecurity will come to an end in 2025. Do we see that as visible? Do we think security agencies really have the political will to put an end to insurgency in Nigeria?
Okay, I can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now, sir?
Yes.
Okay, I say we have two stories in front of the Guardian newspaper side by side. One saying terrorists kill Miyetti Allah chairman, 3 others, as well as kidnapping the wife and daughter. And the next story by his side talking about the CDS telling the personnel that insurgency and insecurity needs to come to an end in 2025. Do you foresee a situation whereby our security agencies will actually walk the talk this time around?
Even though I'm not a favorite of June, the experience before now, based on that experience, I think I'll have a doubt as to whether or not that particular position will be able to achieve that particular deadline. For me, I think we should do more walking than talking. We should stop all this idea of we should not be like NNPC. So that the security will not be like NNPC. I will give you several dates of when finally will commence and they will be shifting. Nobody is asking them for a date. What we're asking them is to ensure that the environment is conducive and they put this into order. So let them do their working and stop talking. What we want to see is action. So when we see them doing the right, when we see them working hard, and then we are seeing those who are committing the crime moving away or running away, then we can say definitely they are on top of it. But it is today, they have not. They've not been. It's not as if they are not doing the right. They're not working hard. It's not good enough as it today. So I have my doubts. If it happens, good. But I have a doubt whether or not that will happen.
Okay. I want us to go to this story now, and this for me, I left till this time because I want us to have enough time to discuss about it, and it has to do with the Rivers State High Court, where it declared that Governor Siminaye Fubara has the legal standing to transact businesses with lawmakers that did not vacate their seats in the State House of Assembly. Remember last year, a couple of lawmakers, about 27 of them, vacated their seats, left with only 3 particular lawmakers. And Fubara actually presented the budget to those 3 lawmakers, which made, it was sued to court that there needs to be a representation of the 2024 budget. Now this court has dismissed that lawsuit and has said Fubara he can actually work with those 3 lawmakers. What does that say for Fubara's freedom to do his job as governor in Rivers State? And what does that say for those lawmakers that actually, vacated their seats? Is there going to be a new election for those lawmakers? Are their seats vacant now? What is the legal standing on all of this?
Whether or not their seat is vacant has not been determined by the courts. Those cases are still in court. Even the one you talked about now is just one of the cases in court. So there are so many cases regarding this defection of these people. But if you go by our law, they are already a non-member of the House, and what should be done is for the INEC to conduct a new election to fill their seats. But because there are several cases in court, INEC is not able to do that for now. Because they want to know where the outcome of those cases will be before they can do anything. That decision, which confirms that the governor can transfer to the 3 or so member of the House. That will be a validity of whatever the government has done in terms of budget presentation. Bearing in mind that the 27 lawmakers are challenging his power to even present that budget to the few members. I am also one of those who believe that presenting a budget to 2, 3, 4, or 5 members of the House is not against our law, because some people are relying on Section 90, which talks about the minimum number of members that can form a National House of Assembly. And I believe that interpretation they are getting the interpretation wrong, in my own opinion, because that interpretation of that section is to the effect that you cannot say you have a House of Assembly. That's during the election. In other words, you cannot say House of Assembly has been formed when there are no up to 24 members elected into that House. It's not about the transaction of business at the House. They are talking about people that will constitute the Assembly. In other words, if you are in Rivers State, you cannot say because we are in Rivers State and we have money, we want to have we want to reduce our spending. We want to just have 15 members out of Assembly. You cannot do that. There's a minimum, which is 24. That's what that law is saying. It's not talking about when you are sitting as a member, then you must be not less than 24. That's not what the law is talking about. It's talking about that fact. And you cannot say because we are in Kwara, we don't have money at all. We can only have 10 members out of Assembly. In other words, the election will only be conducted to have 8 members. That is not allowed. Then when those people have been elected, 24 or more, have been elected, and 1, 2, 3, or 4 or 5 try to something happen. In other words, maybe they resign, death, or whatever happens, that does not say that House is no longer valid, which is in this case. So assuming, for instance, we have a 30 members of Assembly, and 27, God forbid, dies. Are we saying the House will not continue again? Are we saying the governor will have to wait if there is no election to fill the vacancy seats? You have to wait and not do anything because the seat has not been filled. You will deal with those 3. Those 3 will be the minimum. The quorum will be formed within those 3. So that is if once they are valid. So for me, those who are saying that it is abnormal, it's absurd for you to have those 3 members in the House, I think for me that is not against the law. So and that judgment that says he has the right to. I've not seen the judgment. If that judgment is there, that will give the Fubara faction the validity to continue with what they are doing now. Bearing in mind that the presentation of the budget that he did this recently is being criticized by 27 members of the Assembly.
Okay.
That is my position, Darija.
Okay. So, well, Well, that is one thing that I think we will see for a very long time to come when it comes to Rivers State House of Assembly. As you said, so many cases are still in court when it comes to that particular state. And finally, just before we go, I want us to look at the power sector in the country. And we saw so many issues in the power sector, so many collapses, and Discos claim they've paid over 137 billion to TCN amid the persistent grid collapses. That is huge amount of money. We also know that on the front page of the Daily Trust, a 2 trillion naira power project has been stalled. And this is so many projects across Nigeria when it comes to power, which has not, reached feasibility yet. What more does the Minister of Power need to do to let us understand, show proof to us that there's really so much going on to make sure that power becomes something more stable in the country come 2025?
You see, the point is the way you lay your bed, so you lie on it. The point is that we have had what's it called, infrastructure decay for long, and most times these infrastructures are not being replaced as at one day, and because of that, we are having a serious crisis in it. We are not developing our storage facility for electricity. We are not doing more in terms of providing proper infrastructure. So what the minister needs to do is to put in place infrastructure that can withstand what we need. And although we have been told that that is being worked on, where we need to see results, and then we need to know whether to. Because for me, I am having a difficulty in accepting that, because it is not today. So many times they've been saying the same thing, that we are working on this infrastructure, we are working on that infrastructure, and things are not changing. So for me, it's just we need to work on our infrastructure, do more proper supervision, follow up on that, take proper punitive action against people who are not doing their job. Then in that regard, maybe we can move forward. I think they also need to check the discourse. They need to put proper supervision on exercise on ground to ensure that they are well and doing well and up and doing and up to standard. As it is today, they are not up and doing and up to standard. As it is today, they are not doing the way it should be done, doing things the way it should be done. And then I won't blame them. Those who are supposed to even supervise them, are they also doing the same thing? Are they doing the right thing? Because the government too, the one they are handling, which is within their control, the TPN or whatever, are not working. They are not doing the right thing in that place. So for me, a lot has to be done in that area. If we get our electricity supply right, it will trickle down to our what's it called, welfare. It will change the standard of living. The economy will change because with light, so many other things will come in places. And as it is today, it's been very difficult for years. And a lot of money has been spent in this area, but nothing has been achieved. I think the minister needs to do more in terms of ensuring we have adequate and proper infrastructure on ground to withstand what we require to sustain our electricity.
Okay. That's the fine way for us to leave it this morning. Thank you so much, Barrister, for joining us this Monday morning for the Monday edition of the show. It's always an honor to have you help discuss the activities of Nigeria and how to make it better.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have yourself a good day, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that is Barrister Tajuddin Abdulhamid discussing the story about the issues we have in the country with us today. I think we also have a message here, yes? You want to take that one, Tolu?
All right, then. So it says, good morning, crew. Olamilekan from Lagos. With Obi, you can see difference between leaders and rulers, brilliant minds and low-grade minds, visionless people, database and excuses makers, conservative and wasteful people. He would have been president if the cash and carry INEC and judiciary had done its homework well. That is why it's important to attend debates, to check level of capacity and competency. None of these things will be stated this government will do, but abuse. Expecting this government to work is like expecting a blind man to lead you to cross an expressway full of fast cars. Also, it's like putting an aguero in the vault of a central bank, or you put an aguero to run a multinational corporation. It's run it to the ground. You can't give what you don't have. Okay, so this is a lot. Let your president attend the interview by Christian Amanpour or other press media, not by or non-guided interview that will ask the critical question as usual. He will miss Yan, and it's a shame the worst of us is ruling the best of us. Truly, there was a country. This one is from Olamilekan from Lagos.
Okay, Olamilekan from Lagos, thank you so much for being a part of the conversation this morning. I had a whole lot to say right here on his WhatsApp message, and you can always be a part of the conversation. 0704-425-2109 for your calls, 0907-224-5018 for your WhatsApp and text message. But hey, you will have to save those ones for today. Tomorrow definitely you can get to call us or WhatsApp and text messages as we are done for today's edition of the newspaper review right here on Impact Radio 102.1 FM. Once a very big thank you to everyone who opened their ears to us this morning, everyone who watched on YouTube and on Facebook. Thank you so much for being a part of our morning, and we are glad you allowed us be a part of your morning. So we come your way again tomorrow, same time, same station, for another edition of the newspaper review. My name remains Uche Okorve. Have yourself a beautiful Monday.
And my name is Toluwashe Akiomi. The Morning Impact Show continues. Do not go anywhere.
Join us Mondays to Fridays, 7:05 a.m. for newspaper reviews, headlines, analysis, and comments on your urban lifestyle station. High Impact 102.1 FM.
Looking for an avenue to blast your brand? Why not let us be your detonator at High Impact Radio 102.1 FM with Got You Covered. For advert placement, sponsorship, partnership, call us on 0706 393 5694, 0915 958 1881, 0902 745 3931, or send an email to info@highimpactstudio.com. The king of radio is here.